I pulled the dare card. Kiss a guy in the room. The moment the words registered, the circle erupted into teasing whistles and oohs, and my gaze slid, almost automatically, to Ethan. The valedictorian. The guy everyone treated like he was carved out of marble and math trophies. I didn't hesitate. I choose Ethan, I said, like my pulse wasn't suddenly loud in my ears. For half a second, I thought he'd stand. Lean in. Play along like a normal boyfriend would. Instead, he stayed exactly where he was, shoulders tense, jaw set. His eyes flicked to me, then past me, like something was blocking his path. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "Now isn't a good time." A beat of silence hit the room. And then, a row of floating text scrolled across my vision, bright and rapid, like a live stream chat overlay that didn't belong in real life. Of course it's not a good time. The heroine is right next to him. No way he kisses the villainess in front of her. Wait for the next round. When the heroine draws the kiss dare, he'll go all in. The contrast will be brutal. Watch Harper cry and beg. It'll be hilarious. My stomach tightened. I didn't want to be anyone's punchline. Not tonight. I forced my lips into a smile that felt like it was made of glass. If it's not a good time, forget it. I'll pick someone else. The room went dead silent, dead enough that I could hear someone's ice clink in their cup. "What's going on, Harper?" someone asked. "Isn't Ethan your boyfriend?" "Yeah," another person cut in. "Did you two fight?" "Everyone knows he's obsessed with you." A chorus of memories got tossed into the air like proof. "Remember when your promise ring fell into the campus fountain? He went in there in the middle of winter to find it. It's just a game. Take the penalty and move on. Couples argue all the time." Ethan stared at me, and for the first time, his composure looked brittle. His eyes were dark with something close to panic. "Harper," he said, voice low. "Are you mad?" "No," I said, too fast. I poured myself a drink with steady hands I didn't actually have. Ethan hadn't technically done anything that everyone would agree was wrong. And I wasn't going to grab a random guy just to prove a point. That wasn't me. Since I'd failed the dare, I had to take a tequila shot as the penalty. Before I could lift the glass, Ethan reached over, filled one for himself, and said, "This round was my fault. I'll take it." He tipped his head back and drank it down like it was water. The game moved on. I kept my face neutral, like his rejection hadn't landed somewhere deep and sharp. But inside, my chest felt tight. Sour. Like I was breathing through something thick. And I couldn't stop looking at the floating comments. Who is the heroine? I thought, even though my skin already seemed to know. That was when Bella, one of the sophomores, sweet-looking, always soft-spoken, pulled a dare card. She raised her hand with a shy little smile. I think I got the kiss a guy card too." The room leaned in like it was a show. Bella's eyes swept the circle and landed on Ethan like she'd rehearsed it in the mirror. "Ethan," she said gently, "you're the only guy I really know here. Can you help me out?" Every head turned. Every breath held. The floating chat exploded. "Yes. Our girl is so brave, finally making her move. Villainess is about to lose it. Watch her shove Bella." Then Ethan defends Bella and makes Harper apologize. Sweet. Isn't this messy? Harper is still his girlfriend. Oh, shut up. Harper is a side character. Ethan doesn't love her. One line hit harder than the rest, like a cold finger pressing the back of my neck. Later Harper humiliates herself and spirals. It gets ugly. My palms went cold. I wasn't going to make a scene. I wasn't going to touch Bella. But I needed, to see what Ethan would do. Ethan frowned at Bella, and for a split second, he looked genuinely uncomfortable. "I think everyone made it clear," he said, measured. "I have a girlfriend." Bella's mouth trembled. She glanced around, hoping someone else would volunteer. No one did. Her eyes shone. Tears gathered fast, like they'd been waiting. I can't drink," she whispered. "I'm allergic." "If you can't do that, can you at least take the penalty shot for me?" Ethan's brow furrowed. Then he looked at me. "Harper," he asked softly, "is that okay?" I'll only do it if you say so. The chat froze, then erupted in confusion. Why is the male lead asking the villainess for permission? Just kiss Bella. That's the whole point. Relax. He's just being polite. Even if Harper says no, he'll still do it. I curled my fingers into my palm under the table, keeping my face calm. Up to you, I said. Part of me hoped he would refuse. Ethan's gaze dimmed anyway. He picked up the glass and downed the shot for Bella. My heart gave a sharp, ugly lurch. I told myself it meant nothing. He only drank because she couldn't. He was just being considerate. That was all. But the chat kept hammering, merciless and bright. He cares. He wouldn't let Bella suffer. He's playing it cool, but he's already choosing her. I swallowed hard, because the worst part wasn't the shot. The worst part was how quickly the room rearranged itself around Bella, as if she'd always been the center, and I'd just been standing in her light. I couldn't do this all night. I just wanted out. The floating text kept predicting scenes like this was a script already written. Next, the hotel card. Ethan won't let Bella go with anyone else. He'll pull her away. Possessive male lead moment incoming. My nails dug into my palms. Beside me, my cousin Carter gave my shoulder a quick squeeze. You okay? I'm fine, I lied. Nobody here knew Carter and I were family. We kept it quiet on campus. Carter drew a card. His smile faded as he read it. Take any girl in the room to a hotel, he said aloud, disbelief in his voice. Send a selfie from the room to the group chat. The room erupted with laughter and shocked protests. That's insane. No way. Just take the penalty. The chat flashed like a warning siren. Yes. After this, Bella draws the hotel card. Harper will volunteer to make Ethan jealous. Ethan won't care. He's saving himself for Bella. Carter reached toward the bottle to take the penalty. I grabbed his wrist. You have a stomach ulcer, I reminded him sharply. No alcohol. Then I stood. I'll go, I said. I'll go with Carter. Carter blinked at me like I'd lost my mind. What? Before he could argue, I tugged him up. Carter had spoiled me my entire life. His reflex was always to follow before he asked questions. I walked out of the party with another man, leaving my boyfriend behind. Behind me, I felt it, the shift, the sudden pressure, like someone had yanked on an invisible rope. Ethan shot up. Harper. But Bella moved fast, stepping into his path, eyes wet and pleading. Ethan, don't go, she whispered. I don't know anyone else here. If you leave, I'll be scared. The game isn't over. My chest cracked with something hot and silent. I didn't look back. I dragged Carter out the door and into his car like the building was on fire. The chat, still floating, buzzed with confusion. What is the villainess doing? She's supposed to stay and make a scene. Wait, did Ethan actually try to go after her? Don't worry. He'll make it up with Bella later. He always does. Drive, I told Carter. He took one look at my face and didn't ask twice. In the car, my hands shook as I typed. Let's break up. I hit send. Then I blocked Ethan on everything before my courage could evaporate. Done. My body felt hollowed out, like something had scooped me from the inside and left only the shell. Carter glanced at me at a red light. What happened? Nothing, I said, voice thin. I just suddenly stopped liking him. Because of a party game? Yes, I said, because it was the easiest lie. Because of a game. Carter exhaled slowly. Are you sure? You chased that guy for 2 years. You're really going to walk away? I stared at my phone. Yeah, I whispered. That was Ethan. The guy everyone called the Ice Prince. The genius. The heir with a family name that carried weight like a threat. The guy who always looked in control. And last night he'd been painfully polite, even when it mattered. Like he was asking permission for things a boyfriend shouldn't need to ask permission for. Now that politeness felt different in my memory. Like distance. Like restraint. Like I was never really the one he wanted. The chat had said I was the villainess. Bella was the heroine. And according to the plot, I didn't just get hurt, I got erased. I saw it in my head like a slideshow I refused to sit through, me spiraling, getting humiliated, something terrible happening, everyone watching, and Ethan shielding Bella from having to look at me like I was human. No. I wasn't doing that. Not for him. Not for anyone. Carter and I didn't do anything. We took a photo in a hotel lobby that could pass at a glance, posted it to the group chat, and he dropped me at my dorm like we were 13 sneaking back from curfew. When I walked in, my roommate froze. "Harper, your mascara? Are you okay?" I looked in the mirror. I looked wrecked. Dark smudges under my eyes, lipstick faded, hair still styled like I'd been trying to be someone worth choosing. "We broke up," I muttered. She didn't pry. She just scoffed. "His loss. You're a catch." Then, softer, "I'm heading to the dining hall. Want me to grab you a burger?" I nodded, grateful I didn't have to explain myself. When she left, I opened my shopping app and deleted everything in my cart, the things I'd picked out because I'd been excited about us, about the future I thought I was building. No need now. My phone rang. Unknown number. I hung up. It rang again. And again. On the fourth ring, something in me snapped, and I answered. "Harper," Ethan said, breathless, like he was running. "Where are you?" I wiped my face with the heel of my hand. "Didn't you see the photo in the group chat?" "Harper, don't," his voice tightened. "I'm coming to find you." A bitter laugh slipped out before I could stop it. "Why?" Silence. All those floating comments, all that smug certainty, bubbled up like poison. "Fine. Two could play." "You know what, Ethan?" I said, voice flat. "I don't even care anymore. I just wanted to know what the hype was about." His breathing went shallow. "I'm moving on," I added, and I made my voice sharper than my heart. "Don't contact me again." I hung up. Then I lay back on my bed and covered my eyes with my arm, like I could block out the entire world. It was over. The next morning, I saw him in our elective class. I used to take that class just to stare at the back of his head, to feel close to him without needing anything. Now I sat in the back row like a fugitive. I showed up late. I left early. I didn't breathe until I was outside. But I couldn't avoid Carter. He cornered me near the library, eyes narrowed like he was trying not to laugh and trying not to be mad at the same time. "Harper," he said, "you ruined me." I flinched. "Sorry. I went to that party to meet someone," he said. "Now everyone thinks I'm involved with you. I'm socially dead." I exhaled hard, shame twisting in my stomach. "How can I fix it?" "Buy me basketball shoes," Carter said immediately, like he'd been waiting to say it. I stared at him. "That's your compensation?" He nodded with a straight face. "I have a game next Saturday. I need real shoes. The kind that make me look like I know what I'm doing." "You are such a scammer." "And you are such a softie," he shot back, and then he leaned closer, voice dropping. "Also, everyone's calling me your boyfriend. If I show up to the game in ragged sneakers, I'm never recovering." I felt the guilt stab again. Harder this time. "Fine," I muttered. "You win." Carter grinned like he'd just closed a deal. "Knew you loved me." The chat slid across my vision, smug and gleeful. Villainous paying reparations arc. Cousin side character gets screen time, love that. Wait, next is the shoe shop scene. Here comes the heroine's jealousy. The male lead is going to show up. He always shows up. I blinked fast like I could shake it off. I didn't want to believe any of it. Wednesday afternoon, I didn't have class. I went to the mall near campus and stood in front of a wall of men's basketball shoes, holding my phone up to take pictures for Carter. I was trying to be practical. Normal? But my chest still felt tender in a way I couldn't explain, like everything in me had been bruised, and I'd been pretending it didn't hurt. That was when I heard it. A familiar soft laugh. I turned. Bella was there with a friend, one of those girls who always seemed to be whispering into someone's ear like she was reading from a script. Bella held a coffee like it was a prop. She noticed me. Her eyes flicked to mine and then darted away, all innocent panic. Her friend leaned in, loud enough for me to hear anyway. "Why are you in the men's shoe section, Bella?" Bella's cheeks went pink in the sweetest, most practiced way. "I'm buying a gift." "A gift for who?" Bella glanced at me again like she couldn't help it. Like she wanted me to hear. "For Ethan," she said softly. "He helped me out that night, so I want to thank him. He's playing in the game, right?" The chat buzzed like a live audience. "Here it comes. Heroine doing heroine things. Watch the villainess explode. She's going to throw a drink. It's her destiny." I swallowed. Forced my face smooth. I wasn't giving anyone the satisfaction. I picked up a box Carter would like and headed to checkout. Bella moved too. Her friend guided her forward like a hand at the small of her back. Bella cut in front of me. I stopped short, annoyed, but I didn't say anything. I just waited. Bella pulled a sleek black card out of her wallet like she was pulling out a crown. Her friend's eyes widened. "Is that one of those family cards?" Bella's smile turned shy. "Ethan's dad gave it to me. He told me to use it if I ever needed anything. He likes me being close to Ethan." She said the last part while looking at me, just for a second. A tiny, sharp second. The cashier took the card. Swiped it. And then the cashier's face tightened. "Sorry, miss," she said carefully. "This card is frozen." Bella blinked like she didn't understand the word. "What?" Her voice went thin. "No. That's impossible." The cashier tried again. Same result. "Ma'am, it's not going through. You'll need another form of payment." Bella's smile cracked. Her friend stiffened, eyes darting between Bella and me like she was checking the audience reaction. Bella's voice sharpened. "Then run it again. You must be doing it wrong." The cashier's patience tightened. "It's frozen. I can't override that." Behind Bella, the line started to shift. People sighed. Someone cleared their throat. I stepped forward, handed over my card, and paid for Carter's shoes in 10 seconds. Bella's head snapped toward me, eyes suddenly bright with hostility. Like my existence was the insult. She sucked in a breath and, with a tight smile, pulled out cash. She paid for her shoes anyway, jaw clenched so hard I could see it. Outside the store, she grabbed my wrist. I looked down at her hand on me, then up at her face. Her eyes were glossy. Her voice tried for gentle, but it came out like a warning. "Harper," she said, "sweet as poison, you're not still clinging to Ethan, right?" I yanked my wrist back. "What I do is none of your business." Her expression flattened. The sweetness vanished. "I'm warning you," she said, and for the first time, she didn't bother to look kind. "Don't keep bothering him. He likes me. It's obvious." I let out a slow breath through my nose. I didn't want to be in this scene. I didn't want to play this role. Bella lifted her coffee. And before I could even process it, she tipped it, right onto the brand new white shoes in my bag. Dark liquid soaked the fabric. Stained it instantly. My stomach dropped. Bella gasped dramatically, hand flying to her mouth. "Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry." My hand slipped. Her friend made a fake little "oh no" sound. Bella tilted her head, eyes shining with something that wasn't apology at all. "But honestly," she added softly, "it's probably for the best. You and Ethan broke up, right? Don't embarrass yourself by buying him gifts. He won't take them. It would just be awkward." The chat lit up. Yes. The coffee spill scene. Villainous is supposed to lose it here. Public meltdown incoming. Ethan will arrive and defend the heroine. Classic. My hands went cold. Then hot. Then steady. I looked at the ruined shoes, and something in me went very still. "Apologize," I said. Bella's eyes widened like I'd slapped her. "Why would I? I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I just reached into her hand, took what was left of her drink, and poured it onto the shoes she'd just bought." Bella shrieked. The sound was loud enough that people turned. She stared at me like I'd committed a crime. "You're insane," she cried, voice shaking, eyes already filling. Then she pointed at me, and she went for the jugular. "You slept at a hotel with another guy," she yelled, like she was announcing a verdict. "Stop pretending you're innocent. Stop sticking to Ethan. He likes me, can't you see that?" Heads turned. Eyes sharpened. Phones lifted. My throat closed. The chat was a blur. Public accusation arc. Crowd turns on villainous. She's about to get dragged. This is where it starts getting ugly later. My stomach twisted, sick. And then a black car slid up to the curb like it belonged to another world. The driver got out first, moving with a kind of quiet precision that made the crowd instinctively step back. Then the back door opened. Ethan stepped out. Black coat. Sharp posture. That face everyone photographed from across lecture halls. He looked like he'd walked out of a magazine. Except his eyes were fixed on me like he was drowning. Bella's face lit up. She turned toward him, tears trembling on her lashes like pearls. "Ethan," she whispered, voice breaking. "Harper ruined the shoes I bought you. But it's okay. I told her you wouldn't be mad." Ethan walked past her. Didn't even glance. He stopped right in front of me, close enough that I could feel the heat of him through the winter air. His gaze dropped to the bag in my hand. The stained shoes. His throat bobbed. He spoke like he was trying not to scare me. "Harper," he said, voice rougher than I'd ever heard it. "Don't break up with me." The world tilted. The chat freaked out. What? Male lead ignoring heroine? This is not the script. He's pleading? Villainous power-up? Bella's friend made a strangled little noise. Bella just froze. Like her line had been stolen. Ethan reached for my wrist, not hard, but firm enough that I couldn't pretend he wasn't there. "Come with me," he said. "I'm not going anywhere with you," I snapped, more from panic than pride. His jaw tightened. And then he did the one thing I didn't expect. He turned his body slightly, shielding me from the stairs, from Bella, from the phones. "Please," he said, quieter. "Just 5 minutes. Somewhere private." I should have refused. I should have walked away. But my heart was still stupid. Still soft in the wrong places. And the truth was, I wanted answers more than I wanted dignity. I let him guide me to the car. The door shut. The world outside went muffled. Ethan turned to me, breathing like he'd been running. His hands shook when he reached up, not touching my face, stopping just short. "Are you doing this to punish me?" he asked, voice tight. "Because I deserve it, and you want to watch me bleed?" I gave a humorless laugh. "You're not bleeding. You're fine. You always have been." His eyes flinched. I lifted the bag slightly. "These aren't for you." Hope sparked, instant and fragile. "They're not?" "They're for Carter," I said flatly. "Stop making everything about yourself." His face hardened like I'd slapped him. "Carter," he repeated, and the name came out like a curse. I leaned back in the seat, arms crossed. "Let me guess. Now you're going to accuse me of things again." His eyes burned. "You sent that message. You blocked me. You humiliated me in front of everyone." I smiled without any warmth. "Good." He stared. "Because you humiliated me first," I whispered. Just quietly. Politely. Like you always do. His throat worked. I forced myself to keep going, because if I stopped, I would crumble. "So yeah," I said, voice sharpening like I needed it to cut. "Maybe I found out I don't like being with someone who asked permission to care about me." His eyes went red at the edges. "Harper," he said, low. "That's not what that was." I tilted my head. "Then what was it?" Silence. The chat drifted, almost reverent now. "Say it. Tell her the truth." Male lead confession scene. Villainous about to break. I shouldn't have believed any of it. But my heart still listened. My phone buzzed in my hand before Ethan could answer. "Carter." I answered without thinking, Because my nerves were already shredded and Carter was safe. "Harper," Carter said, cheerful. "My parents are making lunch. Come over. They said they miss you. And they're making your favorite." I softened my voice automatically, the way I always did with Carter's family. "Okay. I'll be there." When I hung up, Ethan was staring at me like he'd just been stabbed. His voice came out hoarse. "You've met his parents?" I held his gaze. And I lied. "Yes," I said. "They adore me." His face drained, slow and pale. "Good," I thought bitterly. "Now you know what it feels like. To watch the room rearrange itself around someone else." I shoved the car door open. Ethan grabbed my wrist again, gentle, desperate. "Harper," he said, like he didn't know how to breathe. "Please." I didn't agree to the breakup. I yanked my hand free. "You didn't have to." "I did." I got out. And I didn't look back. Saturday came like a deadline. The gym was loud. Bright. Full of girls pretending they were there for the sport and not the bodies moving beneath jerseys. I sat in the second row with a bottle of water and the kind of forced calm that tasted like metal. Carter jogged onto the court, waving at me like we were the cutest thing alive. Bella was in the front row, practically vibrating, cheeks flushed, holding a drink like an offering. Ethan walked in with the rest of his team. And my pulse tripped so hard I almost dropped the bottle. He didn't look at Bella. He looked at me. Straight through the noise. Straight through the crowd. Like I was the only person in the room. My throat tightened. The chat murmured. "He's not over her. He never was. Look at that stare. He's going to go feral." The whistle blew. The game started. And Ethan played like he had something to prove. He moved fast. Aggressive. Focused in a way that made the crowd gasp every time he stole the ball. Except it wasn't random. He targeted Carter. Every time Carter got possession, Ethan intercepted. Every time Carter tried to break past, Ethan shut him down. Carter looked over at me once, eyes wide like, "What is his problem?" I pretended I didn't know. My chest hurt anyway. At the end, Ethan's team won by a landslide. Girls swarmed the court like gravity had shifted. Bella shoved her way forward, holding her drink up like a prize. "Ethan," she called, voice sweet. "I bought this for you. It's really good." Ethan didn't take it. He didn't even slow down. His eyes were still on me. Carter came over, panting, apologetic. "I'm sorry. I embarrassed you." I twisted the cap off his water and pressed it into his hand. "You didn't. You were great." Then, because the chat had been mocking me all week like it was their hobby, I reached up with a napkin and dabbed the sweat off Carter's forehead like we were some ridiculous couple. Carter froze, shocked. Ethan froze too. The chat lost its mind. She's provoking him. Male lead jealousy spike. His hand is clenched. He's going to snap. Carter leaned down and whispered, "Why is he looking at me like I stole his soul?" "Because you're dramatic," I whispered back. Carter swallowed. "Can you not leave me alone tonight? My parents are out. I'm going to be by myself and, don't laugh, sometimes I freak myself out." I stared at him. Then I laughed anyway. "You're unbelievable." "Harper," he pleaded. "Please." "Fine," I said, still smiling. "I'll come over." And I swear, I felt the air shift. Like somewhere deep in the room, something sharp had just been pulled tight. That night, I walked with a bag of snacks down a quiet street toward Carter's house. The lights were spaced far apart, leaving long stretches of shadow between them. My breath made little clouds. I was halfway there when I heard footsteps behind me. I turned. Nothing. I kept walking. The footsteps came again, closer. My heart kicked. I reached for my phone. A hand clamped around my wrist. I gasped and spun. And I slammed straight into a familiar chest. Ethan. His eyes were wild in a way that didn't match his calm face. "Don't go," he said, voice low. I jerked back. "Let go of me." He let go instantly, hands lifting like he was trying to prove he wasn't a threat. But his gaze didn't soften. "Harper," he said, breath shaking. "I can't." "You can't what?" I snapped. "Watch me live my life?" He flinched like my words were physical. "I can't watch you disappear," he said. "Not when I haven't even explained." I stared at him, chest heaving. The chat whispered, almost nervous now. "This is the villa scene. This is where he finally tells her. Please don't let this turn dark. Please." Ethan swallowed hard. Then he did something I didn't expect. He stepped back and gestured toward the car waiting at the curb. "No tricks," he said quietly. "No games. Just come with me. Hear me out. If you still want to leave after, I'll take you back myself." I should have said no. But something in his voice sounded broken in a way I couldn't ignore. So I got in. The drive was silent. Not comfortable silence. The kind where every second feels like a held breath. When we stopped, I realized we weren't at campus. We were at a place that looked too private, too clean, too expensive. A guest house tucked behind a tall gate. Ethan opened the door, letting me walk in first. Inside, it was warm. Quiet. A fireplace glowing softly like it had been waiting. My hands were shaking again. "Where are we?" "My family's," he said. "No one's here." I asked the staff to leave. I turned sharply. "Ethan." He moved closer, slow, careful, like he was approaching an animal that might bolt. "I'm not doing anything to you," he said. "I just couldn't do this in public anymore." I swallowed. "Then talk." He shut his eyes for a second like he was gathering himself. Then he opened them and looked at me. Really looked. "I didn't refuse to kiss you because of Bella," he said. My chest tightened. "Then why?" His jaw worked. He looked away, embarrassed, Ethan, embarrassed, like he was human. "Because I was trying not to lose control," he admitted. I stared at him, confused and angry at the same time. "That makes no sense." "It does," he said, voice rough. "If you actually understand me." I scoffed. "Apparently I don't." His eyes flicked up, sharp. "You think I was using you?" The words landed heavy, because I hadn't said them out loud, but they'd been rotting inside me. The chat floated like a confession. "She thinks she's the villainess. She thinks she's disposable. She thinks he picked the heroine. Fix it. Now." My throat burned. "You let everyone treat me like I was disposable." Ethan's face twisted, like pain and regret were the same thing. "I know," he whispered. "And I hate myself for it." I crossed my arms tighter. "Then explain why you took her penalty." He swallowed. "Because my dad asked me to look out for her. She helped him once. He felt indebted." My eyes narrowed. "And the card?" Ethan's gaze went cold for the first time. "I froze it," he said simply. I blinked. "You did what?" "She kept provoking you," he said, voice quiet but sharp. "She kept stepping into places she didn't belong. When she started crossing lines, I ended the privilege." My pulse pounded. I tried to speak, but my mouth wouldn't cooperate. Ethan took a shaky breath. "And that night," he continued, voice breaking just slightly, "I was jealous. Not of her. Of you." I stared at him. He looked down, almost ashamed. "You were sitting close to Carter. You two looked coordinated. Like you were a unit. And I hated how calm you were about it. I hated that I couldn't tell what you were thinking." My throat tightened. "So you asked me for permission like I was your boss?" Ethan's eyes snapped up. "No." He stepped closer. "It was the only way I could stop myself from acting like someone I didn't want you to see," he said. "I've never been good at letting go. At being impulsive. You think I'm polite because I don't care. You were wrong." I held his gaze, trembling. "Harper," he said, voice low. "When you threw our ring away, I felt like I was going to crack in half." My chest stung. I hated him for making my heart do this. I hated myself for still listening. "Then why did the chat say, I stopped myself, because saying it out loud made it feel insane. Ethan frowned. Chat? I stared at the air. The comments flickered like they were alive, like they were watching us. Tell him. He'll think you're crazy. But you're already in the story. Might as well say it. I shook my head, desperate. Nothing. Forget it. Ethan reached up slowly, giving me every chance to flinch, and brushed his knuckles against my cheek. So gentle it made my eyes burn. I'm sorry, he whispered. For the party. For letting you feel alone in a room where you should have been safe. For not fighting for you the second you stood up. My breath shook. I tried to hold on to anger, but it slipped through my fingers like water. Harper, he said, softer, don't go to Carter's tonight. Not because I don't trust you, because I don't trust myself to survive it. I let out a broken laugh. That's dramatic. I know, he said, and for the first time, he smiled, small and fragile. But it's true. My heart thudded. The chat held its breath. Kiss him. This is the rewrite. This is her choosing herself. This is the real couple. I stared at him for a long second. Then I stepped forward and kissed him first. Not because the plot demanded it. Because my body knew what my pride didn't want to admit. After that, the night softened around the edges. We talked until my voice went hoarse. We sat on the rug in front of the fireplace like we were just two stupid college kids, not some campus legend and his villainous. And when he asked me, quietly, carefully, if I wanted to stay, I said yes. Because it felt like the first time he was asking me as a person, not a role. The next morning, I woke up to my roommate calling like the world was ending. Harper, she said, breathless. You need to look at the confession wall. Right now. I sat up, pulled instantly. My phone screen loaded a post. A blurry screenshot. A story. A caption dripping with accusation. Harper is two-timing. Hotel with Carter. Still clinging to Ethan. Disgusting. The comments were vicious. People I didn't know were saying my name like they owned it. The chat floated, quieter now. Almost. Guilty. This is where she spirals. This is where it gets ugly. Wait, no. Not this time. Not this rewrite. My hands shook so hard I nearly dropped the phone. Ethan sat up beside me, looked once, and his expression went flat with something dangerous. He didn't ask if it was true. He didn't hesitate. He just said, I'll handle it. Within an hour, Carter posted his own clarification. Simple. Sharp. Unbothered. For the record, Harper is my cousin. Yes, my cousin. We've been family since birth. Please touch grass. And then Ethan posted. Not a vague statement. Not a polite one. A video. Security footage from the party. Clear as day. Bella asking Ethan to kiss her even after he said he had a girlfriend. Bella teary-eyed, pushing, performing. Bella stepping in front of Ethan when he tried to follow me. And Ethan, on camera, turning away from her, eyes locked on me like he couldn't help it. The comments flipped in minutes. Wait, she knew he had a girlfriend? So she was playing innocent this whole time? That's actually wild. Team Harper. Team Ethan. Bella deleted her post. But screenshots spread faster than apologies. And when people started digging, they found more. Patterns. Old drama. Old lies. Bella's perfect image cracked. She stopped showing up in the same places. She stopped looking people in the eye. And then, quietly, she disappeared from campus altogether. Maybe she transferred. Maybe she took time off. I didn't care. For the first time, the chat didn't matter. Weeks later, Carter flopped onto my bed in my dorm like he owned the place. Well, he announced, now that everyone knows I'm your cousin, my social life is revived. I'm back on the market. Ethan, sitting in my desk chair, didn't even look up from his laptop. He just said, good. Carter squinted. Why do you sound mad? Ethan's gaze flicked to me. Because she keeps worrying about you. I rolled my eyes. I do not. You do, Ethan said, calm and certain, and it made heat crawl up my neck. Carter made a gagging noise. Okay, I'm leaving before I witness something I can't unsee. He bolted. The door shut. Silence fell. Ethan stood, walked to me, and held out a small box. My breath caught. Inside was our ring. Fixed. Clean. Like it had never hit the floor. Ethan's fingers brushed mine as he slid it on. His voice dropped. Don't throw it away again. I swallowed hard, eyes stinging. I won't. He looked at me like he was still afraid I'd vanish. Then he said, almost casually, like he wasn't changing my whole life with one sentence. After graduation, he murmured, move in with me. I blinked. That's fast. It's not, he said, and his gaze held mine, steady. It's overdue. I tried to tease him. You won't get sick of me? His smile sharpened, dangerous in a way that made my stomach flip. Harper, he said softly, I'm the one who doesn't do sick of it. I laughed, breathless. That sounds like a threat. It's a promise, he said, and he pulled me into his arms like he'd been waiting all year to do it in daylight. The chat floated one last time, faint as a dying scream. Maybe she was never the villainess. Maybe the story was wrong. Maybe she just needed to stop reading it. I closed my eyes. And for the first time since that party, I didn't look up to see what the comments said. I just listened to my own heartbeat. And trusted it.